Imagine walking into a bank in Mexico a couple of years from now, trying to deposit a stack of pesos, and suddenly you're asked for a biometric face scan.
Yeah, quite the shock.
Right. Well, welcome to your custom deep dive. Today's mission is unpacking a massive shift in Mexico's banking sector. We're looking at the new anti-money laundering, or AML measures, rolling out in 2026.
Which are completely rewriting the rules for cash transactions, international remittances, and really just how the country fights financial crime.
Exactly. And a lot of people see these intense new tracking mechanisms and immediately assume, it's the government trying to take a bigger cut of their savings.
Oh, for sure. But looking at the actual documents from the Association of Banks of Mexico, the target isn't the average citizen's wallet. It's the multi-billion-dollar financial crime industry.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the Association of Banks of Mexico announced these controls back in October 2025, and the first wave hits July 1st, 2026.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. And the headline rule is that anyone depositing or withdrawing 140,000 pesos or more in cash has to be officially identified.
And it's not just individual checking accounts getting the scrutiny either. They're heavily targeting what are known as concentrator accounts.
Concentrator accounts,
Yeah.
like massive collection buckets.
Yeah, exactly. Think of them as giant buckets used by large businesses or institutions to pool money from thousands of different customers. Starting in mid-2026, every single deposit into one of those buckets has to be explicitly referenced.
Got it. So it's
Yep.
basically like mailing a package. Under the old system, you could theoretically drop off a heavy, anonymous box of cash on a bank's doorstep and just walk away.
Right, no questions asked.
But now, every single box needs a clear return address and a final destination.
Exactly. And by forcing that return address onto every transaction, authorities are pulling away the anonymity that illicit organizations rely on. I mean, when you can trace the exact origin of funds flowing into a massive corporate account, domestic money laundering becomes incredibly difficult.
Right. And if it's that hard to move anonymous cash domestically, cartels are naturally going to, push funds across the border.
Which perfectly explains the second wave of rules hitting on June 30th, 2027. International transfers will be restricted exclusively to actual account holders.
Okay, so the barrier to entry gets much higher if cash is involved. Like, senders and receivers will need a valid ID plus at least one biometric data point.
Yeah, a face scan, a fingerprint, something physical that ties a real human body to the digital transaction.
Wow. Plus, there are these severe limits like $350 per remittance and a maximum of $900 per month per receiver. Wait, I have to push back on this.
Okay, go ahead.
$900 a month seems, quite low for families who might rely heavily on remittances just to survive. Are these rules catching everyday people in a net meant for cartels?
What's fascinating here is how the authorities are trying to thread that exact needle. The goal isn't to punish families. The strict caps are designed to stop a tactic called structuring. Yeah. That's where cartels take $1 million of illicit drug money and break it down into thousands of tiny, seemingly innocent transactions to fly under the radar.
Oh, wow. So they just flood the system with small transfers.
Exactly. By capping it at $900 a month, they are adopting these best practices for economic sanctions compliance programs. It lets the Financial Intelligence Unit, the UIF, mathematically choke off those cartel pipelines right at the border.
Okay, that makes sense. But what does this all mean for the average person listening? Because when you hear about biometric scans and hard caps on monthly cash, the immediate cynical reaction is that the government just wants to track every penny so they can tax it.
Right, but the source document actually anticipates that exact fear and issues a massive clarification.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
these measures do not represent a new tax, and more importantly, they do not grant a single ounce of additional power to the SAT, Mexico's tax authority.
So the tax man isn't getting new teeth here.
Not at all. Emphasizing this to you listening, the sole focus is the integrity of the financial system itself. It is entirely about closing the shadows where dirty money hides, not expanding the tax base.
Got it. To briefly recap for you listening, starting in mid-2026 and tightening further in 2027, moving large amounts of cash or receiving cross-border funds in Mexico is going to require strict identity verification, biometrics, and monthly limits.
Yeah, the era of anonymous cash is rapidly coming to an end.
Which leaves you with a final, interesting question to ponder today. As biometric requirements and strict monthly caps become the standard weapons against global financial crime, where exactly will the banking system draw the line between necessary financial security and the financial privacy of the average citizen?